Now boarding for Rebuild of JoyCast, your weekly destination for anime, manga, and more.
I was really looking forward to My Hero Academia this week.
I was too, because we're in the end game, and they're not even shying from it.
No, they're really not pulling their punches, and it's pretty freaking cool. But this week didn't exactly have what I want, but I was still surprised, pleasantly surprised, to be honest. How about you?
I dug it. I mean, it's everything we were asking for. We got Mirko and Bakugo and Genist on a team.
Oh my god, I just realized that Best Genius has a fucking strap around his goddamn collar that says BJ.
It sure does.
God
blowies.
Damn it. I
thought that was okay.
He demanded it.
This is the Maruta situation all over again, where no one they're so quick to make sure there's no terrorist rhetoric in his freaking story, but if they say something stupid and problematic, then they're like, oh yeah, hurry, go right ahead. We don't check for the things that are important, like when your character has blowjob belts.
The designer, Genist, just have a big J on it. It'll look fine. No, I'm Best Genist, BJ.
J for Genist, J for jump. No, a BJ, blow job.
This is a very cool opening panel with I forget the ninja guy's name. You literally explained his power to me. Edgeshot, thank you. We got Sunny, a personal favorite. We got that girl who's also in like the top 3, but I think that's her, isn't it? Did she get a haircut?
She did. All the girls, Mirko did too. All the girls got the short haircut because it's time to get serious. It's time to go to war.
I
no longer pretty, want war, even though I'd say they're hotter now.
Super hyper entrapment stage. I'm surprised that Mirko, I know I noticed it before, but I thought about it more. I'm surprised that Mirko decided to go with a giant freaking gauntlet. Like,
I'm not
it's like
surprised.
The size
bigger punches.
Yeah, but it's the size of her torso, and I always imagined that she would want something probably lightweight, because it isn't one of her big things like speed and precision. Like, I know she's a powerhouse.
She hits hard. She hits hard.
She does.
But yeah, so going on this chapter, basically, it's the start of Team versus Shigaraki. They've got Shigaraki isolated all by himself. And so you said the heroes you just listed, it's them. Deku was supposed to be there with them, but in the previous chapter, Toga pulled him away. Oh no, a wrinkle in the plan. But otherwise, a pretty cool plan. They've got Shigaraki alone in a floating UA dome that's literally like being reconstructed in real time. He destroys something, they rebuild it, because they've got Yaoyorozu, Support Girl, the whole support team, while Kaminari and all the electric heroes are the generator that just have power so they can never be disconnected from the grid.
It's actually a very cool idea.
It's a battle fortress run by heroes that's constantly reconstructing itself. This is insane. Horikoshi is popping off. It's like the Stars and Stripes fight all over again. We're just going nuts.
This is like, it reminds me of, do you remember the Justice League cartoon? Such a good show.
Yes.
Do you remember the episode with Amazo? He was like a silver robot with just red eyes, and he was super powerful.
And he has all their powers.
And he has all the powers. And there's an episode where he comes back after like going around the universe, and he has amassed all this power and knowledge, and his one task is kill Lex Luthor. And everyone on the Justice League is like, oh my god, we actually can't stop Amazo. We have to get everyone in on this. And the episode is basically Amazo just plowing through heroes. You've got the people like outside on space and everything try to fight him, the sky, on the ground, and then like Mr. Atom has to come along, like shrink Lex Luthor down like a microbolic like stage or whatever, so that Amazo can't find him. This is what it reminds me of, because like Shigaraki is that unstoppable that they've got all these dudes like in these different phases and everything doing their little jobs as best they can to hold him off. It's actually really cool.
It's sick. So yeah, so far so good. And then we also got to mention, well, Shigaraki's so freaking powerful. How are they gonna handle it? Like, you think they'd be fodder immediately? No, because Manama is still not done, ladies and gentlemen. He is now also using Eraserhead's quirk, while Manuel keeps his eyes open, like they did during the war arc, where they used the water trick.
I love that. I actually love it. Monoma is a fucking... And once again, coming in with his shit-eating face.
Yep.
I love it.
And and it's him and Eraser, because Eraser can barely use his quirk now, so they're all just taking turns, is what they're doing.
It did remind me that I'm very sad that Eraserhead is essentially out of commission.
He is. You'd think Eri would fix his eye. I've seen her restore lizard tails. Hasn't she done that? Hasn't they actually shown that in the manga? So I'm wondering what's stopping. Are they reserving her for something big? We'll see. But I feel like this would be well within her power, but maybe just not quite yet. Who knows? Still convenient.
Maybe it's because it would take away a lot of the shit, because he lost his eye all the way back in the War arc, which was 2 years ago?
Not in real time.
Oh, no. Really? How long ago was the big War arc that happened?
It was 2020. That War arc took place in 2020.
Oh, okay then. Well, it would definitely take away a lot of the stake and consequence of the War arc outside of death,
But it's like, what are we waiting on?
True. I mean, Eri might still come in and, Eraserhead will make, a glorious return or something last minute, stopping Shigaraki from erasing Deku or something, because Monoma eventually, we both know that eventually all of these characters are gonna be, half dead on the ground, being like, Deku, you have to finish it. Except for maybe Bakugo. Bakugo will still be there.
But that being said, so Shigaraki is also, man, he's not even Shigaraki anymore. He is literally just an empty husk. Barely any personality. This is the worst. He's not even remotely interesting anymore. He's just some creepy freaking blob. He's got this little hand, multiple hands thing going.
Which I thought looked kind of cool.
It looks cool, but, there's just no personality to this guy anymore.
No, it's a shame. I mean,
he does acknowledge Eraserhead. The fact he still acknowledges that he was a fan of Eraserhead.
Yeah, there's a bit where, he's, talking to himself. He's saying, don't get in the way, me, I think?
He's talking to All For One.
Oh, okay, yeah,
he's attempting to exercise his autonomy, but it's not coming too much across to the audience. He's so empty, eyes white, head empty, moisturized in his element.
Can we appreciate the paneling? It's not far from the very beginning. It's the panel where he's on his feet and he's leaning down and touching the ground with one hand, and the way that the slash between panels is interrupted by his hand, as if he's breaking away, not only the effects but also the gap between panels.
Yeah,
it's highlighting his action right there, so it draws more attention to it. I just really like that.
It's a fallout. It's a blast of energy there. Yeah, I love it. I mean, Horikoshi's paneling was never in question. It's good.
No, it's super good. And the art in this chapter, I really love, especially the bit where Best Genius takes a hold of him with the coils and drags Shigaraki across the ground.
Yeah, I mean, everything is popping off here. I mean, I'm still being a whiny little baby about Shigaraki, but no, I mean, everything here is good.
And it looks like everyone's got their little hover platforms. That's freaking sick.
Yeah, this is why we took so much time. This is why he rolled his wheels for a couple months in between the war, between Vigilante Deku and this, is because he was getting his rest in, man. He was taking a breather. All right, time to go all out.
He had to actually plan all this ahead and be okay, how the fuck do I? Okay. It's do you remember Naruto, when Naruto was ending with the Great Ninja War arc? I don't think did you read Naruto?
I did not read Naruto.
That's fair enough. Well, in the Great Ninja War arc, I might be wrong here. I'm not gonna take it as gospel, but I remember there was a point where everyone was Madara is too powerful. Even the author doesn't actually know how to kill him because he had stacked on way too much power with him. He had super rapid freaking regeneration. He could summon a giant kaiju-sized spiritual suit of armor and crap like that. Bring down meteors. He had Sharingan, he had Rinnegan, all that crap. He was just unstoppable. But this whole situation feels like this great, unified, well planned out effort to defeat Shigaraki, where I'm looking at this, I'm Man, I could believe that these guys could maybe even take down Shigaraki without Deku, to be honest. I know it's not going to go that well because at the very end of the chapter, we see Mirako look like she might just be taken out already.
No fucking way. He loves her too much. That being said, yeah, that's like all the readers right now, all the comments, they're just like, here he goes again, killing all the hot women. I'm like, I don't know. I think Mirako makes it out.
Yeah, like, straight up, I literally scroll down, first thing I see, did Mirako die?
I think these fingers are just like, as long as Monoma keeps him in check, this is just a blunt hit. This is just bludgeoning damage.
I am confused on like the limitations of his power and what is and isn't held back by Eraserhead's quirk at this point.
Yeah, who knows? Like, isn't it one quirk at a time, and they're just kind of basically just they're like looking at decay.
It's one of those things where it's like the whole the quirk, whatever you call it, the quirk boundary, or I don't, that's like the last thing I pay attention to in this when they talk about that, even though I know it's super important, especially with everything that's been going on. But I don't get how that works, I suppose.
It's convenient for the story. You'll get explanations as it goes. It's gonna be like freaking Stars and Stripes all over again. They'll explain it.
Yeah.
No need to overthink. Against Popcorn Entertainment, Val. This isn't the one to really overthink.
I noticed that he has his pupils back, and maybe it is just at the very end he has his pupils back.
Yes.
And it makes me think, what if there's a possibility that Monoma and Eraserhead looking at Shigaraki can somehow nullify this weird connection that All For One has with Shigaraki?
Perhaps it could. We don't know.
Yeah.
But I like the possibility. It's not gonna stop him from killing them.
True.
But at least he'll be cooler while he's killing them.
I like this chapter a lot. It's like, this is a really cool plan. This is a really cool concept. And it's like, this city side, like, this thing is huge. I know, I thought it was a city, but I realized, no, you're right. It is just the entire campus, isn't it?
Yeah, remember I said back in Saturday Jump, I said the final battle would take place at UA.
Most definitely.
What neither of us were able to predict was it'd be a floating Sky Fortress version of UA.
Yeah.
As some people have also commented that My Hero Academia has become Sky High. Which is great. I'm so happy.
I'm happy with this chapter. I really like this fight. The plan, the fact that it's like setting up everyone for their roles. It makes me a little sad to think that characters like Kaminari. It's Denki Kaminari, isn't it?
Yep.
I always get confused between him and Kirishima. It makes me sad to think that maybe these characters are not going to be relevant from here on out because they are going to spend the remainder of this series in the goddamn basement.
True, but I could imagine that this freaking base implodes. Shigaraki will pull through at the very end. This goes down. We'll see them. We'll see them. I think we'll see them do some patching up some holes. This place goes down. They'll be on the move.
I said it last week, I believe, but what are you thinking? I'm still thinking about who are going to be the casualties of this. There has to be some give. There's no way that everyone here is going to get out alive.
Huh, I truly have no more death flags for anyone. For the heroes anyways. For the villains, I think Dabi definitely goes. He has to.
Self-immolation. He's going to die by self-immolation.
I agree. That's what should have happened during the first war arc.
He's going hard. I mean, it is cool that Dabi over the course of the series maybe hasn't gone into that much because it's purely talked about, well, not even talked about, but it's a purely physical, visual thing that you simply examine along the course of the series whenever you see him. But he has gotten worse. He has, like, gained more burns since the original time we've seen him.
Yeah, oh yeah, he barely has any, like, unmarked piece of him left now. He has got a little lightning bolt shape on his chest, and that's it.
Yeah, and that's really cool. I'm still looking at Mirako. It looks like she's just been goddamn murked. Like, her legs have been completely... Damn, that ass. Her legs have just been completely consumed by the swarm of hands.
Well, I mean, one of the legs are fake, mind you.
True.
And also, am I sensing an error? I thought she had a gauntlet-like arm. Where is that?
Oh, yeah.
Look at they look like two normal hands.
They do look like two normal hands to me. Maybe it's... No, they definitely look like two regular Hands, damn.
Because the gauntlet should be on the left hand, right?
Yeah. No, yeah. That's absolutely
Interesting. Who knows what that was about? He no mind to the possibly visualizers, or we're missing something and we're looking like idiots. I don't know. I try not to criticize the art too much.
Not much went on here. I would have still preferred if we got the confrontation with Toga right now. But I understand that this was important to get back to because something has gone awry. The characters need to address this.
I think if it's not next chapter, it will be the second to next chapter. We will be back to Toga. Though I feel like this is gonna be like Mirko getting biffed right here is gonna be a cliffhanger, and then we're gonna jump right to Toga.
I think so too. It's gonna pull One Piece on us. One Piece has been doing that all over the place in Wano arc lately.
Oh, no doubt.
It has been frustrating, but also really freaking good. This week's chapter of One Piece, actually. There really isn't that much to talk about in this chapter. Can you find anything to talk about here? I'm liking all the different electric...
No, I'm just like, we are at peak My Hero Academia. We are sky high academia, and we are having a good time.
Yeah.
It's good that it's finally having a good-ass time.
It's nice that Tech Girl got her, bit, and obviously Yaomomo, or Creati. I forgot that she...
Yeah, it's her real name really precedes her hero name. There's some characters that you really just don't really accept their hero names, like Kaminari.
Mm-hmm.
He's Charge Bolt.
Yeah.
Who the fuck calls him Charge Bolt?
No one. Terrible name. Terrible name.
A lot of their names are actually terrible. Truly.
I'm not even a fan of Dynamite.
I think Dynamite's A-okay. I like that they went with something that no one thought of. I actually really appreciate Dynamite because it's an homage to All Might.
Mm-hmm.
It's Dynamite. It's explosive. Because we all thought it was gonna be Ground Zero. Like all the chatter, they all thought it was gonna be Ground Zero. There was no other choice there.
I get it.
That being said, though, the fact that you would want Bakugo to really define himself outside of All Might.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
That is exactly it.
I agree with that, and that's why in the abridged I went with Ground Zero.
It's still really cool though to see. I only wish my boy Sun Eater would take center stage for a moment. But then again,
he will. Give him time.
Yeah.
He's not there for nothing, Val.
No, of course not.
Everyone's got a very specific job. Give it some time.
Miriko's there to get killed first? No. I hope she's not dead. Even I like Miriko.
No way.
I've never loved Miriko, but it's like, yeah, I like Miriko. Like, why not? It really does feel like, though, this puts it forward, like, there's nowhere else to go for these characters. You know? Inventor Girl? I forget her name.
Support Girl. Mei Hatsume.
Yeah, support girl and everything. I'm like, cool.
I love how this was all her idea, this whole fortress thing.
Pretty
love
much.
It.
Yeah, no.
She got some just due at the very end here. I'm so happy.
No, yeah, it's cool that she is, a character that we maybe thought wouldn't be that relevant. And she's not. She literally...
Oh, yeah, during Saturday Jump, we said we probably saw the last of her during the frickin' school festival.
Yeah, exactly. But it's been cool that she has appeared, usually at the beginning or tail end of an arc, I think.
Right.
Yeah, because when would you say that Vigilante Deku arc ended? Because I would say it officially ended probably around the time that he went to meet up with her, if I'm getting the
It was before that. It was when he basically, when they fucking hosed his ass.
Yes,
when he was
you're right.
Filthy. That to me was the end of Deku arc because it literally ends I told you that season 6. That's how it's going to end. It's going to end with them sleeping on the couch, and then the post-credit sequence is going to be the setup to Stars and Stripes.
Yes, yeah. I'm actually looking forward to the anime if nothing goes awry like the last season.
If nothing goes awry, that's why I want to segue next. Is yes, it's going to go all awry because my God. It doesn't matter that the manga is ending. We're going to see a lot more movies. We are, because the current volume of My Hero Academia, 30-something, 31 or 32, maybe 33. I don't quite have the exact number, but the latest volume is the highest selling in the entire series.
Damn.
Basically, I was going through some figures and stuff. On a growth curve, My Hero Academia, it kind of dipped a bit during the Endeavor Agency and joint training arcs. As it should have, because that was the lowest point of the series. But overall, and since then, it's been climbing to its best numbers. It finally usurped Demon Slayer for monthly and weekly sales.
Impressive.
Which is insane. There's only 2 others who can do that. Jujutsu Kaisen and Tokyo Revengers.
Damn.
And of course, Chainsaw Man when it returns. The current big 3 in terms of sales is My Hero Academia, Jujutsu Kaisen, and Tokyo Revengers. Good on them. But that's where I go, I mean, it's a feedback loop. If there's going to be no more manga, but you want to keep selling manga if it's not ongoing, you're going to make movies. And you're going to keep the movies and the animes, and that feedback loop is going to continue. It's at its most successful right now. Nothing's stopping it. There's more money than ever. But will they actually use it and not screw up the budgets of the anime? I doubt it. I think we're in for a bad time. Right now, it's which arc gets screwed over. Is it the war arc or is it Vigilante? I will concede Vigilante. Deku. Since it's the Deku-focused one.
Yeah.
And I don't care.
Okay. I think we could end up with a sort of Boruto situation. Like, you know about the Boruto thing, right?
Regale me.
I'm going to Naruto again, strangely. So, Boruto. When Naruto ended, there was a period, obviously, where it was like, well, it doesn't matter that the Naruto manga ended, because at the end of the day, they got My Hero Academia, which turned into the big hit that it is. But then they made Boruto, like, 2 years later, as a monthly manga, not by Masashi Kishimoto.
Yeah, they continue without him, but I heard he's back. Now that Samurai 7 or Samurai 9 is done, he's back on it.
Yes, he is. Samurai 9.
18? I don't, it's a number. It's Samurai number something.
I'm Samurai 8, The Tale of Hachimaru, which, sadly, as far as I could tell, kind of crashed and burned within a year. It went from May.
Yeah, it got the bare minimum.
Yeah, which is
considering the pedigree, that was special.
No,
a very special crash and burn. The fact that such a big name couldn't carry.
It really is a shame because he probably genuinely wanted to move on from Naruto. I mean, the man dedicated 14 to 15 years of his life on it.
Yeah.
And then the instant he tried something new, it was like, it gets shit-canned in a year, and I didn't hear anyone talking about it. But anyway, so they released Boruto in like 2016 as a monthly manga.
Yeah, but I remember the corpse was not cold when Boruto came out, and they did it without him. They did that with Super as well. I mean, Dragon Ball Super, they do that without Araki. Or not Araki. Toriyama. Thinking JoJo's.
Ukyo Kodachi writing Boruto for, I want to say, if I'm right about like the way that they've structured this, 13 volumes. And then Kishimoto came back as of the 14th volume, I guess, to start writing it. I don't know if that means that, no, I guess that means that he did just stop because it says 1 to 13. And then they released the anime of Boruto, where it started in 2017, but because the Boruto manga started in 2016 monthly, they had nothing to work with. They had maybe, I don't know, 5th of April, it started as an anime. 9th of May, it started in 2016. They had like 8 months or so, maybe more, worth of chapters. And they just ran with filler to the point where only, as far as I know, a year or two ago, they started doing actual manga-based stories. They could do something like that with My Hero Academia if they want.
I don't think My Hero series. Here's the difference, Val. Who works on Naruto?
I was about to say KyoAni, but it's goddamn Period.
No, it's not
I was about to
KyoAni.
say KyoAni. It's Period.
Period? Yeah, makes sense because Perio's that kind of studio where they'll go week of, and they don't take breaks. They just go until they burn themselves out, and they're just doing nothing but filler. Bones would still retain the right. Toho and Bones would still retain the rights to the anime rights, should they choose to go forward, if there's a source material to work with. If there is a source material to work with, they're gonna wait.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, that's true.
Because that's how they approach the manga as we currently have it. The current My Hero Academia series. They wait. They take time and they wait. Because they're seasonal. They don't go every week. They're not trying to fill in the gaps every week. Whereas Pirio's entire budget revolves around Naruto. Bones doesn't need it. But I mean, they're getting some nice movie cash, and that's why I'm saying that we'll see movies long after the manga's done, and maybe even after the anime's done as well. We'll just continue to see movies like as we're seeing them, these little original one-offs.
It's gonna be like One Piece. We're just gonna get a movie every couple of years.
Yeah.
Probably.
However long it takes, because again, it's a 10-picture deal. And I always say that on Saturday Jump. There is that deal that they made was for 10 films. They try to hide that fact now because for whatever reason, but the initial sign off on the paper was 10 films. We only have 3 of them right now. And the anime can be done in about 2 to 3 years, and the manga is going to be done this year. So within its original run, we could have maybe 5 films. There's another 5 to work with if they so choose, and I think they will. And I think that's what we're going to see. As for a sequel series like in the manga by Horikoshi, I don't know. I think Horikoshi is going to be more interested in doing something new.
Mm-hmm.
And as we've seen through Vigilantes, we don't need Horikoshi. We love Horikoshi. Horikoshi's great when his editors don't get in the way. But this universe is proven to be very easy to write in. Because it's just popcorn entertainment. Just place yourself somewhere in that universe. Ask Horikoshi, hey, which characters I can use? And he'll say, that one, that one, that one. Have fun, and we'll just make our own original heroes to fill in the gaps. It's easy. We have Vigilantes. We have Team Up Mission. We get these little one-offs once in a while, these one-shots, and they're all different. They're all different writers and different artists, and they don't skip a beat. So My Hero will continue to exist. They will run that thing to the ground. I have no doubt that the future of My Hero Academia is bright.
How would you feel
after Horikoshi?
How would you feel? Because a voice acting friend of mine recently talked about it, but he expressed interest or a desire to voice My Hero vigilante characters, specifically Knuckle Duster, not Wolverine, and not Cyclops. And that did bring a thought to my mind as you're saying this. Would it be nice if Bones took a break from My Hero Academia and did a series of vigilantes to bridge some story stuff, which is obviously...
They wouldn't.
Wouldn't that be amazing, though?
It would be amazing, but they wouldn't have the balls. Because it's not Deku. Deku has this fucking franchise by the balls. And that's why I'm saying that even though the future is bright for spin-offs, they will never get adapted. It will never be the same phenomenon as long as Deku is not there. The horny teeny boppers will not follow. They're the ones that get those fucking sales.
I still hold a deep desire to have a Academia movie not centered around Deku.
Oh, don't we all? We pray.
But
every
that's
night.
exactly my same. That's my same desire with One Piece, though, because you know how One Piece film read? I'm sure you do. I think I've mentioned it before. I was hoping so hard for a Shanks-based movie.
Yeah.
From a different time,
Shanks will make
away
his
from
move.
Luffy.
2019,
go ahead and,
the
like,
year
pop
of Shanks.
Luffy in there.
2019 and 2020 and 2021 were all the year of Shanks.
The biggest lie he ever told.
I love it. I think it's hilarious. But yeah, but we've seen the concept art. That's not going to be the case. But yes, I think One Piece is also, you've expressed this as well, that post One Piece, post Oda, you still have a magnificent world where you can just pop in another story and it doesn't even have to be about pirates. You can go on any given island, any given country, and tell a completely different story with completely different characters. The world, what a glorious place. It's huge.
Did you just quote the goddamn opening?
Of course I did, Val.
The world.
The world, what a glorious place.
I love that opening with the fucking
if your line is, if the opening to your story isn't the world, what a glorious place, don't even fucking bother. How do you top that?
I still would very much like it because, as Vigilantes has proved, there are important aspects in Vigilantes that bridge shit in My Hero Academia that aren't actually talked about. So it feels as though it would be a good logical step for Bones.
You think it would be beneficial? You think an OVA or something? Because those OVAs are abysmal. Those OVAs suck.
Oh no, they really do. Actually, yeah,
which I'm like, it would be interesting, but however, you do not want Vigilantes on an OVA budget.
If it was like a 90s, well, if it was a 90s OVA budget, now that'd be different.
That Cavern Rescue Mission, that latest OVA, two-parter OVA, and all it was was scrolling still images and just, hey, remember that time? And we just talk in dialogue over a rolling still image. I'm like, what the fuck is this? They did that during a pandemic. And I'm like, why did you even bother? Why did you put your animators at risk like that? For what? To meet a quota? I don't understand.
See, that makes me very sad because when I think OVA, and you probably, hopefully think the same thing, I think Fooly Cooly and stuff.
Like a mini-series. Yeah, again, a mini-series.
Yeah.
See, for me, I'm spoiled by OVAs. The very first OVA I ever watched was Giant Robo, The Day the Earth Stood Still. One of my all-time favorite anime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to me, OVAs are movies in their own right.
Yeah. I think things
They're
like...
specials. They hit things you normally don't see. And I feel like My Hero Vigilantes would be a perfect fit there.
Agreed.
But it needs a better budget.
I think of things like Air Gear, Break the Sky, episodes 1, 2, and 3. Do you remember Air Gear? Have you read Air Gear?
I know of Air Gear, but I've never really digested it.
Yeah, you've probably seen me once in a blue moon be like, Air Gear, fuck!
Yeah, you know what? I think I might be voicing an abridged parody of Air Gear. I'm pretty sure. I know someone recorded me for something the other day. It was very brief.
Air Gear is a really good manga. In fact, I think I recommend you lots of things. I think you'd really enjoy it.
After this giant pile I got behind me, I'll get to it.
Barack Obama is a character, and he's embodying the.
Love my war criminals.
He's trapped in the body of a high school girl. He's technically not Barack Obama.
You've told this to me.
Yeah, I probably have. It's insane. It's an insane manga that we should honestly go over one day.
We should.
We need to bring back Manga Rochambeau.
We do eventually, when we get the balls, when we have more time.
When we get the balls, when we have more manga to actually go through, because it was just, I got nothing. Fuck.
It was our classics, is what was going on.
Pretty much.
We were trying to subject each other to our, the things that we would never fucking do on our own time. But yeah, but speaking of the classics, it was announced literally right after we recorded last week's episode.
Oh?
Boom! Big bomb drop. Out of freaking nowhere, Zatch Bell is coming back.
Yes, that's right. You
Return of the King. Everyone in the Joy Boys chat just went insane. They just went nuts. There were riots. We were flipping police cars. It's good that Zatch is back. I talked about last week we wanted some new things, and I said we're all just hypocrites. We really just want old things, and we were correct on that. Because now Zatch Bell is back and all is right with the world. Out with the new, in back with the old, eh?
I think I've told you before. I have some knowledge of what Zatch Bell is. Can you actually tell me what the fuck it's actually about? I think the dolls become king.
It's one of the greatest Mon fighters of all time. It's basically, it's about this student basically, it's Death Note if Light had a true friend. Who showed him the light, who gave him heart. This is if Light was a good guy. So this is about a prodigy, literally just like Light Yagami, who finds a mysterious spell book that's given to him by a mysterious boy. He's a little puppet boy named Zatch, or as they say in the manga, because I just reread the manga recently, Gosh. Mm-hmm. And basically, because anytime I start reading the manga, I'll start calling him Gash instead of Zatch. If I watch the anime, he's Zatch. But right now, I'm in manga mode, so he's Gash to me right now. And he meets a mysterious little boy. And he goes, hey, your dad sent me to be your friend because you're such a piece of shit. You're gonna turn into Light Yagami unless I save your ass. Kyo, the Light Yagami, to be, says, fuck you. I don't need friends. I'm gonna study books and become a software engineer. And, slowly die for the rest of my life.
Living the Japanese dream.
And so basically they start getting attacked by other people with these little puppet children. But they're not all just puppet children. They can be animals, robots, anything. But they're specifically called Momoto. And they are from the demon world. It's basically hell. But it's the cute version of hell. And I love it. And they are sent every 1,000 years or so. They come to Earth and have a fight. They send 100 Momotos to Earth, and they meet up with their partners with spell books. They give them the power, and they have a war. And the last Momoto standing becomes the king of hell. And each Momoto is very different. Some don't even want to be in this fight. It's very traumatic for them. Some just want to go home. They say, please, burn, because if you burn their book, they return home to hell.
Oh no.
They don't really die. But they say, please, 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 send me back to hell. I hate Earth. And some are like, no, I love Earth. I'm going to hang out here to the very end. I'm going to milk this for all it's worth. And some are like, I want to be the king. And that's Zatch. I want to be the king. But Zatch has an added element that he also is missing memories. But on top of that, he wants to be the king because the ones that are getting traumatized and are getting fucked over, Zatch is like, this is horrible. Why does such a fight exist if very few people are actually interested in it? So Zatch reasons that I'm going to become the Momoto king and put an end to this war and be a kind, just king. And you, the reader, love Zatch so much because he is so kind. You're like, hell yeah, Zatch. He is a mensch. He is one of the greatest protagonists you will ever see in Shonen Jump. It's great.
And you'd highly recommend Zatch Bell.
It's one of my highest recommendations for Jump Trash. And for people who I consider the best Mon fighter and one of the best jumps. Is it one of the best manga? No. This is popcorn entertainment. This is very silly. It's excessively weird, even problematic at times, because this is a product of its time. This is early 2000s.
Would you believe me if I told you I have a personal favorite anime because the manga is just not translated and it's very hard to find like a full translation of it?
Yeah.
That is like Zatch Bell in so many ways that you described.
Yes, because it's a Mon fighter. So that's how they are.
Yeah, but in more than that, even more. I'll let you finish, and I'll tell you a little bit about.
We're gonna say what Zatch stands apart is the fact that its characters are so likable, and the pacing is the most I don't give a shit pacing I've ever seen. Again, very indicative of early 2000s manga that got pushed into America. Because Zatch Bell was definitely in the American eye. They just drop things. Like, they will interrupt. They will literally just stop fights in the middle and go, okay, the fight happened. We're done. We're moving on. They don't care. If this writer even senses a hint of you getting bored, he drops it. And he moves on. Some people would find that a bit jarring. But it's the fastest 300 chapters you're ever gonna read. It just.
But is it funny? He does it in a funny way.
Yeah, it's very funny. It's very fun. It's very abrupt. It's a lot of gag. It's gag. It's surreal slice of life. A lot of stories revolve around Zatch and friends just fucking around. Basically, that's how they're punctuated. You get these very serious, heartbreaking, gut-wrenching, violent fights. And then, boom, we're going to have a shopping episode. Someone shit in my mailbox. We gotta go find who did this.
Is that an actual thing?
I feel like it has happened. I feel, if I'm making it
Does
up.
that literally say, that sounds more like something.
If I'm making it up, it's not too far-fetched from actual plots in this series. Again, they are so random. They see a guy on TV, and then because Zatch is just a little boy, and he's very impressionable, and he sees characters on TV, and again, this is the early 2000s. This is back when shows went on the road, and there's episodes dedicated to them going to road shows because that's what they do, and getting disappointed when their heroes aren't real, and we have to deal with that. And it's devastating.
Like how you had to deal with the fact that Gash is not real.
And they go on dates, they go work on farms. It sounds like a mess, because it is. It's a fucking mess, but it's such an entertaining, enjoyable mess. And if you don't want to really sit around for the manga, the first 2 seasons, the first 50 episodes are dubbed. You can find them. Absolutely wonderful time. Some absolute historic cast. Very West Coast actors. You get Debbie Derryberry, aka Jimmy Neutron, as Zatch Bell. You've got Billy from Billy and Mandy as Kanchume. It's such an eclectic cast. These are people you don't normally expect in anime, and they're there, and it's a fun ride. But this was
Was Zatch Bell released sort of like a Pokemon where people didn't know it was actually from, and they just assumed it was an American cartoon?
What's that? Repeat that?
Well, like how Pokemon was released in, like, no kid actually knew where Pokemon was from. You know, they just thought, oh, Pokemon's a cool cartoon. Is that kind of what it's like?
This was following the tales of Pokemon, because Pokemon ushered in this huge revival of anime in the West. That's a whole different discussion. That's a whole history lesson. But Zatch is the generation. This is mid-Toonami generation in the West. In the West, Toonami is very formative and also very important of maintaining interest in anime. This multiple hour block in the afternoons on Cartoon Network, Toonami airs anime, and they're trying to fill gaps because Dragon Ball is going. This is when Dragon Ball is going insano mode in the West, and like, okay, there is demand for this. Throw anything at the fucking wall, and that's how you get Shaman King,
love it,
Yu-Gi-Oh, Zatch Bell. This is that generation, and this is when One Piece by 4Kids is on its way and about to ruin this.
Did you know the voice actor who played Zoro in One Piece is actually Guts?
Oh, I know.
Oh, I absolutely One Piece. Like, you've seen the shot where he screams Luffy when
Luffy!
Luffy!
Yes. Yeah, I love that TikTok. We're like, yo, fucking 4Kids Zoro losing his freaking mind in the booth.
Goes
I'm like,
hard
yeah,
in the
that's
booth.
Gatsu, motherfucker.
Of course he goes hard. It's Guts.
That's Gatsu, man. Hell yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so after that long tangent, we are so happy to have Zatch Bell back. So expect me talking about that very soon. It should come out in the next week or two.
I will look
They
forward
just
to
dropped.
that.
They literally announced and went, "Hey, in like 2 weeks, this is back." And they're re-releasing volumes too, which is also amazing. Viz is in charge of the translations. I think they always were, to my memory, but now they're really gonna take it seriously. Because again, Jump is kind of struggling.
I think
so.
It's
They're looking for anything.
Really cool.
And they've got a good choice in Zatch Bell.
I think it's really, really cool that, like, in a time where things like a personal favorite thing of mine, Oban Star Races, gets a Kickstarter to re-release.
Oban Star Races gets a
Kickstarter. I backed
it's
it.
doing well.
I backed it by €100. I'm gonna get a Blu-ray. I'm gonna get like some stuff. Another thing that I kickstarted actually came the other day. The creators of Last Man, making a movie called Mars Express.
Yeah, you've talked about this. You bought yourself a spot in that roster, didn't you?
Yes, I did actually. I need to go there. That's why I'm working really hard, because I've got to like save up that money to like go to France, and then me and my mate are gonna be like, okay, we're done here. Let's go to fucking Disneyland.
Euro Disneyland.
Yeah.
I'm about to say you're about to go to the Ratatouille restaurant. Let's go meet Ratatouille in real life.
But I think it's amazing that we live in a time where things that would have been niche, because Oban Star Race is one of those things where the guy had to really push. He had to push for having a female main character. The stuff was done in like 2003, apparently. Coincidentally, around the time where Zatch Bell started airing, but then it only got put on TV in 2006. It's a crazy thing. He had to really push and work and like work his ass off to get everything the way he wanted it, basically, because the studios, the producers were like fighting against him at every goddamn turn, it seemed. But he got it done. It's sick. That Kickstarter, though, has apparently recently, last I saw a few hours ago, hit 300,000 euros, and they were only asking for 30. They were only asking for 30 for this like whole thing, and with this reaction, essentially, that could spur on a sequel to the series, apparently, because of how much this has gained. Isn't that cool? And then Zatch Bell's coming back and stuff. I just feel really happy to see all these things that maybe I enjoy or you enjoyed as a niche thing that maybe, like, obviously Zatch Bell was a big success. Zatch probably
I would not call Zatch niche. I'm serious. Like, that was, like I said, it was in the Shaman King generation. This was a huge pile. A lot of people, if you brought up Zatch Bell, they'll say fuck yeah, or oh, that fucking weird thing, what the fuck.
Yeah.
But everyone's seen
I misspoke for sure, but like you understand what I mean. It's super cool to see these things that we loved as kids coming back, or maybe even like adults.
Yeah, isn't it great? We're boomers now, Val.
Or maybe as adults rediscovering things
Bring back old
that
things.
we might have been like, it's okay. I mean,
remember when we were kids and they brought back Dennis the Menace? What great times.
Oh yeah, I mean, do you know that you and I have very different Dennis the Menaces?
Yeah, I've got Dennis the Menace, and you've got Billy the cheeky little.
No, like
the cheeky
your
little
Dennis
git.
the Menace is a well-meaning rascal who pisses people off inadvertently. not intentionally. My Dennis the Menace, like, picks on what did he they called them like the pansies, the pufters. I know. Invades countries, steals their artifacts. Yes. No, it's like he's like an actually bad kid, funnily enough. But can I tell you about this thing that you were just completely reminding me of and like sending me flashbacks when you were talking about Zatch Bell? I will be very quick.
Do it.
Okay. It's called Yondamasu no Azazel-san, or You're Being Summoned, Azazel, and very similar to Zatch Bell, it is about these deceptively cute things coming up from hell, requiring a grimoire, or book, to tie them to the mortal plane used by people, and they all have their own distinct abilities.
Yeah.
But, unlike Zatch Bell, it is like a dark, absolutely my kind of steez, supernatural dark comedy manga, where Azazel is a demon of lust who harasses people. He constantly berates the main character, who is this very nice, shy woman, Rinko Sakuma, who is working for this very shady guy called Akutabe. He runs a detective agency, but he uses demons to get all the jobs done. And he uses Azazel originally to fix a woman's marriage with her cheating husband, but Azazel constantly gets it wrong. He gives the husband things like erectile dysfunction at one point. And then when he's like brought up on it and it's like, oh, you messed this up, he then decides to give the wife this aged wife gigantic freaking tits and shit. That's so big she like, you see them before that she even comes through the door. She like breaks the doors off or whatever because they are so big. And as the series goes on, all of Azazel's like treatment of the girl, the main girl, turns her into a bit of a sociopath. As she slowly turns to more of this dark figure resembling the detective more and more. There are other characters like Beelzebub, who is Azazel's best friend, who is a prince of hell, but even though he's like appears as this very cute looking fly-like penguin, he's actually a fly. Everyone thinks he's a bird because he looks like one, but he's got little fly wings. And his whole thing is that he can make you shit yourself, but he also eats shit himself, something that he is rather embarrassed about. And the characters are rather disgusting. They are genuinely bad people. It's like, you know how you say that it's like cute hell? This is like actual hell.
Yeah, they say this is the dark one.
This is the dark one. And I think it's a really funny dark comedy with great animation. It's got some very like very famous like scenes in it that people like would take as like gifs and everything back in like the 2000s. It's been done since 2012. The manga finished in 2018. Yeah,
if you send me clips, I'd probably recognize it, honestly.
You probably would, but it is a really good dark anime, and it is mostly them fucking about. There is very rarely an actual story going on, and when it is, it's really weird. There's like this dude called Moloch who is like a demon of wrath, and he's just like this little cow dude. He looks like a little cute plushy cow, but he gets violently angry if you eat meat around him, specifically steak and cow, and he will like murder you really viciously. And there's an episode where they reveal things about angels, where angels have been walking among people, specifically to hunt down grimoires to take them up to heaven, and once those grimoires enter heaven, they are then destroyed, and the demon is destroyed along with it. You can like burn a grimoire and do whatever you want with it. It'll just pop up somewhere else, and the demon will survive. The only way you can actually kill a demon is by taking the grimoire to heaven. And he dies, and they make a whole thing about it. There's another story bit, which went on for a surprisingly long time, where a serial flasher and pervert is harassing people, and you go into this really sad backstory where it turns out he was a priest who was like in love with a woman and was going to marry her, but then it turns out that Azazel at one point turned her into a massive slut and ruined his life. So now he's going around and like become a pervert. some kind. I can't actually remember why he did it like that. It was kind of ridiculous. But they do similar things, like you said. There's an episode where the main girl is trying to get a job. This is before she turns quite as bad as she does later on, where she starts abusing the demons because they are shitty people who deserve it, to be honest. She's got a job doing cosplay photo shoots, and the demons are like, why the hell is she so happy? Oh, it's because she has money. Where's she getting money from? Akuta only pays her like a little bit. Let's go follow her. And they end up like ruining this entire convention of people who are like social outcasts who find comfort in one another. You go into like a little bit of their backstories and how like, oh, doing this event brings me such joy. You know, before I met you guys, I was a shut-in. I had nothing. And then I met you guys and like we're doing this. I'm so happy. And then Beelzebub, the one who eats shit and really enjoys curry, they are selling curry, and he buys some of their stuff, mixes poo in it, puts it in the microwave, forgets about it, and then someone else is like, oh, one last bit of curry. Yeah, we can like, you know, spread this out and everything among the people. And then it turns into like them all being arrested for feeding people poo. And it just ruins the entire thing. It's really, really dark. I'm not going to go into much more of it, but it just reminded me of a dark reflection of Zatch Bell, because there were so many things. It really does. Of so many things that you said, it brought the memories flooding back to me. But it is one of my absolute favorite dark comedies. So, yeah, that's what I feel like ending on. I would actually recommend watching it, because you can't freaking read it, that's for sure. Not in full, at least. I would kill to know how that manga ended and what is and isn't canon to the manga outside of the anime.
Right.
But do I hear the train? Do you hear the train?
Is it stopping? Are we getting an early stop this week?
I think so.
Oh no, I'm fucking looking. No, the fucking Dr. Octopus on the fucking train.
What's he doing?
The train's going. It's still moving. I think we're gonna freaking I can't do this bit. I can't canonize this podcast into this Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2.
You can do it, Ivan. You just gotta finish the joke, and it's canon. That's it.
Mind the gap as you exit our podcast safely. Rebuild of JoyCast is hosted by Ivan LeRoy and Valentine Stokes. LeRoy's written and directed works can be found on the JoyRide Entertainment YouTube channel and the soon-to-be-released original web manga, PARAMEDIC. Val's dulcet tones can be heard in many of your favorite anime and web series, such as RWBY, Death Battle, Tribe 9, Lackadaisy Cats, and more. This episode was edited by Steena Carey, with YouTube version edited by Cody Rock. Music provided by Lofi Geek. Intro and outro narration by Steena Carey. Outro music composed by Michael Pejovich. Logo and visuals designed by Ivan LeRoy. Rebuild of JoyCast is produced by JoyRide Entertainment and Rock Voice Productions LLC, and made possible thanks to Patreon donations from generous listeners like you. This month's highest tiered Patreon producers are Mr. Host, Austin, Hairo Medina, and Gooner Bear. If you would like your name shouted out at the end of each podcast, an invite to our private Discord to interact with fans, cast and crew, or early access to all of our content, be sure to check out JoyRide Entertainment's Patreon. Links provided in the description. Thank you for keeping JoyRide's engine burning.